calm rest? Where are the days of less stress? Where are the days of calm unification? Fez and turban, the whole nation under a banner get banned, got hanged. Canaanland is the song slaves sang. Heading up north, past Niagara Falls. Gold on the neck and wrists on the shores. Some just walk, most rode on a horse. Sell memory of D when not lost on course. Hero on my shoulder, in my ear in Morse. Code of my art with force. My families are noble, sheikhs and laws. Breastplates are chakras, alchemist Moors. Since the battle of Tours, my face on this cross and noose. My face has troops and in roots. Let them tell your story, you lose. Hang on a corner, just another noose. Hang on a rim, slave to the game. Still got a 10 cause they got me trained. Noose on the brain, no jokes, no smiles. Juice killers' names in library files. History of Moors, America lies in aisles. In the brewery of lies, from primary to secondary. Schools, concentration camps, lockdown scary. Twisting the laws and the keys and locks. Fascists, Nazis, those are not cops. Bloodstained shiny rocks. When fraud starts, it can't stop. But it will, with the will of the people towards self, not the church steeple. They say we equal but act opposite. Ego sees a way and then cops it. Robbing like robbing, not giving up the poor. Collecting handouts, not giving up the cure. In parts, not holistic. Mystic, natural, not eyes. Mystic, national, that's wise. Big shades, it's not iron sheet but plies. All of the puppets did sewn and stuff it. The rap game is mixed these, that's how they love it. Climbing the charts forever, can't get above it. Putting out whack album plus with a budget. I damn rappers flows and they can't budget. Lose your $1 million house, you can't budget. They use the net and seduce a pen pal. Male or female, that's a signal. I can see Puffy the Magic Dragon puffin'. Dancing the fez, man, you're just bluffing. That fez should get grabbed off your head, get bussin', and get cussing, some pushing and shoving. Rap nerds wanna be cool like McLovin. Rap Hitler, put rap Jews in the oven. Rap nerds wanna be cool like McLovin. Rap Hitler, put rap Jews in the oven.
Emotional, keep it up, my feet under pressure of the oppressor. We got the tools, we got to take everything back. We all we got, so let's join together. I get emotional, keep it up, my feet under the pressure of the oppressor. We got the tools, we got to take everything back. We all we got, so let's join together.
Yeah, I get emotional. I'm on the verge of saying fuck this, bro. But when I look at all the work that's been put in there till now, it gets more personal. More brothers in jail than enslaved. Underpaid, underserved, money craved. Prison is a rite of passage to the eyes of the youths when they're raised from the youngest age. You're not a man until you feel the cage. You kill your people with a sawed-off gauge. Niggas hate this so much, might as well hail Hitler. Follow with the skinheads crave. Like a furry must grow unscathed. No more civil liberties getting waived. Claim my nationality, I'm a Moor, that's for sure. On that triple crown, it's engraved. For the southern I speak as your voice. Continue to use your option of choice. AHF is always on the battlefield with a shield till we win, then we'll rejoice. Back on this mic again, genetically bred to win. I gotta thank God for this day, it's a gift that my skin's got melanin. My words must change our condition. Raise children with enough ambition. Rapists, I mean rappers who can do the funny names added to this inquisition. Charlie whispers to Charlie head rush. Run the trap and get your head bust. 50 steps is the way that we walk on spark in the dark, there's nothing to discuss. When I get emotional, yeah,
keep it up, keep under pressure of the oppressor. We got the tools, we got to take everything back. We all we got, so let's join together. I get emotional, keep it up, keep under pressure of the oppressor. We got the tools, we got to take everything back. We all we got, so let's join together.
Have you ever really wondered why the sky is blue? I hear where the Anunnaki, is it true? Tell me what you wanna do, you wanna swim in the bling, but pool spells poo. Undercover cops at your block hole, thinking it's a god, but it's really the Gestapo. President's a damn prop, just a puppet like Pinocchio and Lamb Chop. Damn rock, ham hocks, take the Yoda back. Jews at the football game, scream, get a quarterback. Hammering them on the beat, fully body, not a quarter black. Music videos on BET, make a heart attack, yo body. Fall to the ground, start screaming, stop. Think that it's air that you're breathing hot. You don't know about the Stargate and the Gulf of Aden that the army's not releasing. I heard Cthulhu's not sleeping. BP spills the oil, they're not weeping. Blood diamonds on the floor start sweeping into your pockets. Give me free things. Obama is the president. president great, but they told you that would happen in the movie. Had to stay, get it straight, sit in the sun and meditate. Everyone is born with an expiration date. Life is really nothing but a period of grace, separating the best genetic material from the waste and then sending it with haste into the next generation. Constant accumulation of trivial information is clogging civilization, slowing social progress, reducing the rate of evolution. That's how the humans will lose. The truth is moved northeast, west, and south is called news.
Emotional, picking up on feet under the pressure of the oppressor. We got the tools to take everything back. We all we got, so let's join together. I get emotional, picking up on feet under the pressure of the oppressor. We got the tools to take everything back. We all we got, so let's join together.
The Hebrew Israelites make the same claim that you make, in the sense of we are all Hebrews. That is our nationality. You say we are all Moors. If I was to get an imam right here, he would say we are all Muslims.
Alright.
This is the confusion, brother.
Alright.
Do you see that as being confuse our people?
Yes. Let me go on
Go ahead, help me out.
Let me help you out. The imam who claims to be a Muslim would not have a nationality card with that on it. So most likely that imam is classified as Negro, colored, black in the United States Census Bureau. The brother or sister who's claiming to be Hebrew Israelite will not have a nationality card that reads Hebrew Israelite. All right. I have every job I've been on since I've been nationalized, since 1993. I have a Moorish nationality identification card identifying myself as a Moor. So not only yes. So not only am I claiming that verbally, I've done it politically. I've sent paperwork to the banks, the schools that I went to, and so forth. When I talk to those who claim to be Hebrew Israelite, and I ask them, have they done the same? And they say no. Well, if you believe you're Hebrew and you're teaching people that we're all Hebrew, well then where's your nationality card? You do work. So have you clarified your legal status at your job? Because you classified as black at your job. Even if you didn't fill it, even if you didn't check it all, their paperwork that I find will be in my book, chapter 2 of my book, that the employer is instructed to, if it's left blank, to fill it out based on observation. So they will fill that out. You must clarify your legal status. The hospital, wherever you are. So have you clarified, speaking to those who claim to be Hebrew Israelites, have they clarified their legal status on the record? Or are they just saying that they're Hebrew Israelites, but there's no political action on it? They're just standing on the streets. They're just standing on the street and saying we're all Hebrew Israelites. But there has to be some political action because they're classified as Negro, colored, black in the United States Census Bureau. So my question is, have they clarified that classification that they're not black and that they're Hebrew?
Good question.
Brother, they have not. I've asked about 100 of them, and not one of them, but it said, no, they haven't.
Islam, Moors. Quick lesson on unity. We Moorish Americans, active Moorish Americans, are a different breed of Moors. We're not the Moors that you're used to. Unity is based in nationality. If you have no nationality, you will never have unity. Very simple concept.
He said that the prophet never went to the Pan American Conference in Cuba. He showed a document from the so-called U.S. government saying that this is the list of all the delegates that went there on behalf of the United States.
I'm taping. It's good. It's good.
Because the prophet is not a citizen of the United States. Right? He's representing the ancient Moorish Empire of Mexico. So his name would not be on that list as a delegate for the U.S. Be on that list as a delegate for the U.S. democracy.
Not just that. What you have to look at is also the COINTELPRO operations. Also them doing the cover-up and the infiltration that was with Coolidge, because remember Coolidge made the statement that if he could get over 500 to follow him, he'd back him with his army and navy, and of course he got over 1 million. And then that includes Garvey's people who are also conscious. But as it has been, when you check the federal records, when you do the research on even on histories of American religion documents in the Library of Congress, what you'll see, there's a common thread, and that is not only with the infiltration with the COINTELPRO operations, because one of the focuses that they did with the COINTELPRO operations was take into consideration that they would have difficulty having agents in all of different organizations. So the strategy, if you look at the FBI papers, is to infiltrate the orders and get people, mostly Christian ministers, to be leaders.
They did the same thing with Garvey.
And then to neutralize the civic side of the operations. And this took place with both Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And these are some of the things that Malcolm found out.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned Marcus Garvey, Taj. Didn't Marcus Garvey, his top soldiers, his generals, was Hebrew Israelites?
Yeah, and see, this is what you must know, and this is part of the dynamics of people really kind of understanding the true history, because you have Moorish Science Temple, then you have Moorish Hebrew, or what you call Moorish Jewish temples. See, the whole concept, I think, and we need to, how do you say, get information out to our people without them being sensitive to their belief systems, and comprehend that we're all Hebrew. But it's not a religion the way it's presented, and we're not a different people. All it represents, when you look like, say, chapter 47 in the Circle 7 Quran, or you deal...
We'll eventually get there. So, sums it up. It's summed up. But we will carry on for the sake of uplifting fallen humanity. Because Moors that are active Moors that are conscious and cognizant about their nationality and their birthright as Moorish Americans are acknowledged as being the ones who have the correct knowledge. For example, got a call yesterday from a Moor in Canaanland that left the Moor Science Temple of America in Canaanland because the Grand Sheikh Kudjo, you know, he's an agent and he only teaches religion, and, you know, he doesn't know what he's doing, so we don't want to be under or representative or in acknowledgement with that science temple because of its Grand Sheikh. But the brother called me yesterday. This is maybe, I haven't heard from him maybe in about a year and a half. At least that. And he called me to tell me that he's going to be giving somebody my contact number because they had some questions. And he just wanted to let me know that he's going to be giving my number, or to ask if he could give my number to this individual who has questions about, Moorish, whatever, they want to build on Moorish nationality, birthrights, law, etc. But he's given my number as a reference. Why? Because he knows what's up. Because he knows that I brought him. Right? I put him on the level where he could understand nationality and birthrights, and that is acknowledged by this individual that left the temple. So saying all that to say, these breed of Moors that are coming right now, right? The generation of Moors that are in their 30s to 50s, when they get this information, they're a different breed of Moors. They're a different level of Moors. So I was doing some research today and, just bumping into people who continue to play this game that they're not Moors. When it's a documented fact that Moors are dark-skinned people, and these people who are dark-skinned keep saying that they're not Moors. So we're going to continue to use them as piñatas to prove to people that you are Moors. And what you must do is proclaim your nationality, because anything you do without a nationality means nothing to the ancestors, means nothing to whatever you consider God. It means nothing to society. So we're going to go in on our friends here and make sure that by the end of this, you're clear that you're Moors. Whether you claim it or not, that's your business, but you can't say that you weren't told.
Igbo mean? What does it mean? I'm on a website, everyculture.com, and it's called The Orientation of the Igbo. And in paragraph 2, it says, there are several theories concerning the etymology of the word Igbo, spelled I-B-O, by British colonists. 18th century texts had the word as Hebrew, H-E-E-B-O, or Igbo, E-B-O-E, which was thought to be a corruption of Hebrew. Igbo. So basically, a lot of different scholars and researchers say Igbo means Hebo, which comes from Hebrew. Now I'm about to show you a flyer that went out to the white folks of Americas right when we landed to be sold, advertising us. And it says, to be sold, fine Hebos. Fine Hebos. Then the brother got a note right here to the side that says Hebos mean Hebrew. So when we came over here, they wasn't calling us Igbo, I-G-B-O. They wasn't calling us Igbo. They was calling us Hebos. And this is documented on the flyer to sell us to these white folks when we came off the ships. They said Hebos. Now what do Hebos sound like to you? It sounds like Hebrew. So when we came off those ships, they never said Negroes for sale. They later said Negroes for sale, but they never said Africans for sale, or they never said Igbo or Ibu. They say.
Now, we'll go to HebrewIgbo.com and let's hear what they have to say with regard to no such thing as Igbos, and the people are really Hebrews, not Igbos. Because, this argument being presented against the Moors is from someone who considers themselves the fraudulent title of Hebrew Israelite. Hebrew or Israelite is not a nationality of Asiatics. So it cannot be an identity, because nationality identifies what nation a person, individual, human being belongs to. So the real identity is your nationality. And Hebrew or Israelite is not a nationality of melanin dominant beings. So we read, culturally, it also must be noted the parallel histories of the Jews and Igbo Hebrews of Nigeria, how they have scattered worldwide and wherever they go, they are considered strangers and are persecuted by the indigenous peoples they find themselves around. Israel was taken into slavery by Egypt, and the Igbos, one of the first of the African peoples to be taken into slavery by the white men of the West. White men of the West. Right? Remember, these are the same Hebrew people, just a different branch. Right? But they're not claiming Israel. They're claiming West Africa as their homeland. And when you hear individuals, like we say, talking white and black, know for a fact that they work for, whether directly or indirectly, the democracy, Roman Inquisitionist powers. An old slave trading advertisement read, same advertisement that the brother was talking about, to be sold, fine Hebos. There were some Igbo slaves so tenacious and uncontrollable that they were put into separate boats to Haiti and Jamaica to be exiled. Right? So they're identifying that West Africans were taken to the islands. West Africans. By white men of the West. No so-called white man comes from the West. There is no jurisdiction in the Americas or in the Western Hemisphere that Europeans can claim descendancy from. Why? Because pale people don't come from this side of the planet. And the only way that they do is through Argentina. Which, if you just do your research on Hitler and Argentina, you'll get your answer for that. But recognize that the game that's being played is to take you away from your birthright, take you away from your nationality. You are Moors. You cannot be Israelites. You cannot be Hebrew. If you are dark skinned, you are a Moor. If you are dark skinned, you are a Moor. Whatever else you claim to be after being a Moor, go right ahead. But you can't claim those things that you are, from religion to status, and not have more attached to it if you're dark skinned. Because that would mean that you're running a fraud on yourself.
Hebos, man, what means Hebrew, man. So stop playing with yourself, man, when you're saying that the Negroes in America has no connection with Hebrews. Like, that's just deceiving the people, man. And we can't be doing that, man. Whatever, dig deep and find out. Because if you say you're a Moor, like I said before, man, that's the most generic word on the face of this earth. Because it means black, man. Ask one of these white folks in America.
And just Google I am HH Temple YouTube. Does Moor mean black? Moor means black. And you'll get a good breakdown from Brother Rami Salam El in his little class, few minutes or whatever, hour or something like that, to let you know why Moor doesn't mean black, with documented facts, not some slave flyer as facts. A slave flyer to prove something historical. How using a slave flyer to prove something historical? When the concept of black people being slaves in America is a fraud, because black means pale and slave comes from Slavic, which are pale people. The etymology of black is pale. The etymology of slave comes from an European nation of people identified as Slavic. So you cannot be black slaves, because that is a historical flaw. There's no such thing as black slaves that are dark-skinned. There might be black slaves that are pale, but there's no black slaves that are dark-skinned. Now they keep bringing up this term Hebrew. So what we'll do is we'll go to the master teacher, Dr. Yosef A.A. Ben Yakinen, Africa, Mother of Western Civilization, page 443. One may wonder why religion is being stressed to such length in this latter part of the citations of the Greek-centric Anglo-Saxon Semitic myth. The reason is that religion was in fact the beginning of man's total education with respect to all of the unknown qualities and quantities, and so it still remains in the 20th century. Religion governed and was responsible for every aspect of the mystery system. The Haribus, Hebrews, carried it from Africa into Europe after it had entered Asia thousands of years before with other African worshippers of the sun and fire. Haribus, Haribus, in brackets, Hebrews. So you're not even Hebrews according to Dr. Ben. Let's see if he makes reference again to these individuals. Page 446. What the student of astrology will know from all of this is that the Greeks' alleged system of zodiacal circle was taken from the Haribus distortions of the true meaning of the divine circle or sign of God, Ra, sometimes represented by the European-style Christians as they began their replacement of the African mystery systems religion and substituted European-style romanticized Christians' version of Hebrewism called Judaism at present, thus removing the Ark of Confessions, which they called Ark of the Covenants. By doing this, the Haribus had also attempted to claim its origin from Moses, as shown in the following excerpt from the book of Exodus. Thus Moses builded an altar under the hill and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel, etc. The Christians' offspring of the Haribus used this revised magical number 12 for most of their own undoing of the Haribus corrupted works they received intact from the Egyptian worshippers of the god Ra and other African mystery systems teachings. So what is Dr. Ben telling us? That the whole Hebrew concept is a myth. because it is a distortion of the ancient Kemetic culture. The Hebrew is a myth, because the Hebrew comes out of the Haribus. So make sure you do your research on Haribus and ask the Hebrews today, how come they stop calling themselves Haribus? Because Haribus ties them to these frauds that went into Egypt, received teachings intact from the ancient Kemetans, and pushed it as some fraud, according to Dr. Ben, the master teacher that everybody was, groveling. Right? So he put it on the record that it's a fraud. He put it on the record that Hebrew, somebody claiming that they're Hebrew, is a fraud. Why? Because one, they're not called Hebrew, they're called Haribus. And two, the Haribus were presenting falsified, doctored up, misrepresented Egyptian mysteries to the people as something that came from Moses. That's why we keep telling people that Moses is Thutmose, a pharaoh. Why? Because the Hebrews are really ancient from that side. There's no such thing as no Hebrews. That's a language. There's no people called Hebrews. They're Haribus, and they spoke Hebrew. They're Igbo, and they spoke Hebrew. They're Moors, and they spoke Hebrew. Hebrew wasn't their identity. Haribus was their identity. And again, when you trace back the Haribus goes back to those individuals that learned from the ancient Egyptians, Kemetans, Cushites, Nubians, etc., and took that information and presented it as some new religion. And then Europeans got it and then distorted it more and created Judaism. And now woe unto themselves that call themselves Jews. We're not talking about just woe unto themselves that calls themselves Jews, the Ashkenazi that calls themselves Jews. Woe unto them, woe unto those that call themselves Jews, including those so-called Hebrew Israelites that continue to push this fraud that they're Hebrew when they cannot be Hebrew.
As a matter of fact, even in our culture, Tetragrammaton actually deals with the four gates and the four elements. And yet Tetragrammaton is presented to people who don't understand it as the ineffable word or four-letter word. YHWH, and then those who don't understand the science just say Yahweh, and then those who don't understand that say Jehovah. And yet those same people will turn around and condemn cosmology, which is actually the foundation of all religions on the planet. And so what you find is people sitting around debating their beliefs that have nothing to do with the science of life. And so the masses today have what you call club belief systems. And if you really pay attention to many of our people, and it's really unfortunate, and I don't condemn them, I'm just observing. And watch us, being you're a journalist in many ways. And for the different people that you deal with around this country, and some, from other nation states that may travel through, you'll find that one of the greatest damaging aspects of our fallen culture here in North America with the Asiatics, people of Asiatic African birth, is that they have fallen into the trickster psychology of European divisionism, and they identify themselves by their belief systems, not by their blood. As a matter of fact, they don't recognize nationhood nor bloodline, which of course is why, if you'll pay attention to us, our people hide behind their so-called beliefs for this imitation power that none of us possess. The power that we actually need in our unity. the power that we actually lost for having become divided with our banal belief systems, most of which, when traced back, have no foundation rooted in the original Zoroaster culture or the original principles of Islam and Yahudi, or what you call the philosophies, which are actually Gnostic and cosmological philosophies, the metaphysical microcosm, macrocosm elements of the earth study, and the ephemeritis by which we guide government.
How do you make that connection between the Kemetic people, the Moors, and the Hebrew?
It's like a Chinese talking about what's the difference between Chinese and light-skinned yellow people and dark-skinned yellow people. The fact of it is no such thing as light-skinned yellow people and dark-skinned yellow people. They're Chinese or Manchurian. How about that? And this goes the same thing with our people identifying their belief systems as their bloodline identity, which is an indication that they don't even know fundamental civilization. However, that's not a condemnation. Anybody that knows civilization understands that that's a flaw. And of course, that comes from European socialization, where, as you will pay attention to, our people distinguish some of these same people that claim the so-called spiritual knowledge don't even know that spirit refers to breath alone. And the philosophies, the Gnostic philosophies, constitutes the religion. One of the biggest frauds that I keep hearing is that the Kemetic people and the Moors are two different people.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's a fraud. In other words, the foundation is a fraud, but it's also an indication that somebody does not know history and someone does not know bloodline. And the very fact that they even present that issue is like saying, what's the difference between Ham and Cush, father and son? What else you want to know? Now, as an example, when Rahm Emanuel, who was in what you call contemporary times, a Jew, as you would say, and we know it's actually Yahudi, left the Obama administration and he went to run for mayor in Chicago, which is the sister city of Mecca. In accord with the Circle 7 principle, which is the culture of the planet, on December the 22nd of 2011, he issued a proclamation acknowledging both Noble Drew Ali, the history of the Moors, and the traverse here. Rahm Emanuel, the Jew. Keep in mind that the civilized world has been appealing to the Asiatics of the Northwest for quite, more or less publicly, since about the 40s, late 40s, to nationalize. If you deal with the rights of indigenous people, which is recent, which Obama signed, if you deal with the Universal Proclamation of Human Rights 49 era, the rights of a child in 1959, treaty enforcement under Bill Clinton, etc., you'll find that the civilized world has consistently presented to our people here in North America to nationalize.
Consistently, the people of the world have been presenting the same position that Noble Drew Ali took in 1913. Declare, proclaim your nationality. You are Moorish American. You are not Negro, black, or colored people. You are not those things. And it was put in print for you. So we're going to go to chapter 47 of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Verse 10 or verse 9. According to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family, because all inhabitants of Africa were and are of the human race, descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation from the holy land of Canaan. What your ancient forefathers were, you are today without doubt or contradiction. There is no one who is able to change man from the descendant nature of his forefathers, unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator Allah himself. These holy and divine laws are from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the uniting of the Moorish Holy Temple of North America. These laws are to be strictly preserved by the members of all the temples of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, that they will learn to open their meetings and guide it according to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Every subordinate temple of the Grand Major Temple is to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and create their own laws and customs in conjunction with the laws of the Holy Prophet and the Grand Temple. I, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, was sent by the great God Allah to warn all Asiatics of America to repent from their sinful ways, because that great and lawful day which is sure to come, before that great and lawful day which is sure to come. The time has come that every nation must worship under his own vine and fig tree, and every tongue must confess his own. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery, due to the fact that they honored not the creed and principles of their forefathers. That is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America, who were of Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father and strayed after the gods of Europe, whom they knew nothing of. That was Noble Drew Ali.
What country they come from? They gonna say Germany. They gonna say France. They gonna say Ireland. But then again, they'll say white. You know why they would say white? Because it's a generic term, and to them, those countries don't matter no more where they previously descended from. It don't matter to them. So when you say you are Moor, it means the country that you previously came from don't matter no more.
Right, and that's a fraud. Because when you say you're a Moor, what that does is that ties you to the illustrious history of dark-skinned people all across the globe, not just on the continent of Africa. When you say that you're an African slave, all you go back to is Africa, that's it. All you go back to is that continent. Nothing else applies. When you say that you're a Moor, you're tying yourself to every single landmass on the globe. It's a fact. It's not speculation. Just do your research on family crest of Germany. Just punch family crest of Germany in the Google search and tell me if those aren't Moors on those family crests of Germany. That they also identify as Moors in Germany as M-O-H-R, Moor. They don't call them black. They don't call them Schwartz. They don't call them nigger. They say Moor. It's a fact. But when you have people without nationalities trying to teach people, you get distorted lessons because they have no foundation if they have no nationality. They're talking based on emotion.
Y'all. Real talk. The Moors is a bunch of coons, man. Because they love the white man system, man. They're my brothers and sisters, and I hate using that word, man. I sat down with my cousin for a good word. He's a bald-headed, save-faced coon. But I sat down but he's a Christian though, and I sat down with him, man. I was so patient with him. And then everything I said was just going right over his black bald head.
Right, and why was everything going over his head? Because both of you are two stateless idiots, incompetent, two stupid people arguing. You know what that is? That's a Dumb and Dumber movie 5. Because these clowns are deliberately claiming not to be Moors. That's why they're clowns. That's why they're stupid and incompetent. Because they're deliberately not being Moors, but they'll be Hebrews. When Moors spoke Hebrew. Hebrew is a language. There's Hebrew writing in America because Moors who spoke Hebrew founded here. On top of all the other languages that they found on this landmass. That Moors are coons. When we have a nationality that's acknowledged and recognized, you don't see the brother Bay in the newspaper. Every single time they put his name in there, they say Bay. Yeah, they shot him. Doesn't matter. That's what they do. They shoot Europeans. They're not just shooting black people only. Because you're looking for yellow people, you're not finding them getting shot. Because you're looking for red people, if you identify nationalities, you'll recognize that all types of people are being killed by police, not just so-called black people. And again, black means pale. So if pale lives matter, that means you're out there marching for the European, which means you're the real coons. Using Moses as a reference, Abraham and all that. When that's European stuff. Because remember, you're Harabus. If you're Harabus, what are you talking about Hebrew? Why are you talking about Harabus? So you can go back to the Canaanites, so you can go back to your birthright as Moors. But nah, they don't want nothing to do with Canaanites because that's the cursed seed of the whatever. And you look up the etymology of curse. That's nothing to do with no witchcraft and all that stuff. You guys talking about what curse is. How's cursing somebody? Something negative. You just cursed them out for not putting a towel on them, laughing at them naked. I'll curse him out too. Doesn't mean he's a sinner.
And I talked to my other cousin, we the same age. That was my older cousin I was talking to, we the same age. And we just looked at each other, man. And he like, man, that nigga's a fucking coon, man. Fucking Christian coon. So like, when I say coon, man, like y'all forced me to say this shit, man. Cause that's a strong word. And I know somebody called me a coon, I'm ready to fight. So man, this is what I say to the Muslims in general, man. Bunch of fucking coons, man. The Moors, for the simple fact, how is a shaved head and a bald face a part of your culture as a black man? And also, the Moor Science Temple of America, y'all got American flags in there and y'all paying. First of all, what the sin?
Right? Incompetence. The Moors fly the American flag. He's referring to the Stars and Stripes. That's not a flag. The Stars and Stripes is a banner. So to make the claim that the Moors are flying the European flag is a fraud. Because the Star-Spangled Banner is not a flag. And the only way that it can be represented as a flag is if it's being used as insignia for amity and commerce. The only way. Other than that, it's a banner. And the American flag is the red flag with the 5-pointed green star. Because this land that you're in above Mexico is Morocco of the West. So the Moroccan flag is really the American flag. And the Stars of Stripes, or Stars and Stripes, is the banner of amity and commerce so that the Europeans have a jurisdiction to fly whenever they are traversing in the jurisdiction of Morocco. And under that banner is a republican form of government. So all the Europeans who are renouncing their US citizenship are claiming indirectly that we want the republic back. And how are they going to get the republic back? By teaching these Hebrews, Israelites, blacks, Negroes, coloreds, Africans, that they're Moors. And that this is their birthright over here. But you're only going to get your birthright as Moors, not as Hebrew Israelites, not as Nubians, not as Negro, black, colored Africans, not as continents or adjectives. The only way you're going to get your birthright back is by your free national name. El, Bey, Day, Al, and Ali. After you claim that, you could be any whatever you want to be. You better have more on it. If you don't have more on it, then continue to go through what you're going through. Because that's the reason why you go through what you're going through, because you don't have a nationality. And like we put it on the record, the entire world is waiting for you to claim that you're Moors so they can jump on board with whatever your program is that you think is for the liberation of your people. If you're not saying that you're Moors, then they're not listening to you, because they know that continents, adjectives, Negro, black, colored, African are not identities of people. Fact.
Since today of the slaves flag will hold up American flag. That's where y'all get me at. And I was watching a brother on Sinetta TV. His name is something Bay. He's a Moor. And I was just looking at him, man, listening to him talk. And as he was talking, man, I can only think about one thing, man. Just how he looked, how he talked. There's only one thing that was on my mind, man. And that one thing was, I bet he got a white wife, man. I bet he do, man. He looked like he loved white women, man.
Right? Incompetence. White is not an identity of pale people. White is a status. Ask anybody in the world. White is a status. Black is a status. So this Moor that was named Bey on Sonnetter TV, if you're saying that he has a white wife, you're claiming that his wife could be North African. What's wrong with having a North African wife? You're claiming that his wife could be East Indian. What's wrong with having an East Indian wife? You know, and this is how the world looks at our people when we talk in these stupid ways, thinking that we have some type of knowledge, when the foundation of you having knowledge is what's your nationality, because that is going to determine historically how I'm going to look at you. The world is waiting for you people to claim your nationality and stop playing these label brand games and wanting the world to accept the label brand game that you're playing.
It's messed up, man, but that was, to me, that was the vibration he was putting off. He was speaking nice and kind words, man, but Negroes today, we don't need them nice and kind words no more, man. To tell you the truth, we need our ass kicked for the way we've been acting. We need tough love, man. Because right now, that's all we getting in the Christian church is kind words. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no more kind words. Tell me I'm doing wrong. Yell at me. You know what I'm saying?
We're telling you that you're doing wrong. That you're not Hebrews. You're not Negroes. You're not Africans. You're not Israelites. You're Moors. And the sooner that you realize the fact that you're Moors, you would get out of the conditions that are plaguing you. Because the mind is what creates the atmosphere. So if your mind is warped because you do not have a nationality and you have all these thoughts in your heads all jumbled up like Play-Doh, then your manifestation on the earth realm is going to be Play-Doh. No structure, no straight lines, no curves, sloppy work, coloring outside the lines. Moorish nationality is to square you up. so you can be better citizens and stop playing race card games with people because they violate you because of your incompetence. Your incompetence is what's getting you violated. It's not the people violating you. If you weren't incompetent, you wouldn't be violated.
Saying, help me to straighten up my life. You know what I'm saying? Give me some rules to live by. You know what I'm saying? Point me in the right direction. Don't have me walk down a false path. Don't tell me, oh, brother, we built great civilizations. Black people did that. I said, well, I'm going to say, cool, word. What nation of black people did that? Brother, it don't matter. Black people did it. Man, no, man, because guess what, man? All black people not the same, man. They not the same, man. And another thing I want to bring out is that they say the Moors have a strong connection to Islam. And they do. But the Moors has an even stronger connection with the Bible. You got Christianity, you got the Moors practicing, you got Christianity was a slave religion, and basically you got the Hebrew Israelites praising their God and keeping their laws, and then you got another slave religion, which is Islam. Now, I'm looking at a picture right now, a beautiful picture of these black folks in New York standing. And obviously you could tell there's a rabbi in the middle of the picture.
Now listen to this fraud. You have some black folks in this picture when clearly behind them says their sign of who they are. And he's going to misclassify them as black people to make his erroneous point. Nobody told you that your own is going to enslave you.
The group of the people, because he got his fringes on. And some say this picture is from 1929. Oh yeah, I can see the Shield of David in the background too. Now, this got a poster in the background and it says, the Moorish Zion's Temple of the Moorish Jews. Read it again. And it also has it translated in the Hebrew right next to it. It says, the Moorish Zionist Temple of the Moorish Jews. Now, back in the day, 1929's New York, late 1800s, the Moors knew they was Moors for the simple fact it meant black. They would say that with pride. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Moor. But at the same time,
right? See the fraud? Moor means black, so they would say that with pride. I'm a Moor, meaning they're black. No, I'm a Moor because they're a Moor. Why didn't they call it the Black Zionist Temple of the Moorish blacks? Right? Why didn't they call it the Moorish Zionist Temple of the black Jews? Because they're not black, because their nationality is Moorish. And they happen to practice the esoteric science of Kabbalah. They're Yehudi, like it was told in the beginning by the master teacher. They're not black. Nobody says, I'm Moor. If Moor meant black, we address this. If Moor meant black, then black people should have no problem calling themselves Moors. Because Moor means black. So why not call yourself Moors? But they don't do that. So that means Moor can't mean black. It's impossible that Moor means black, but black people won't call themselves Moors. They'll keep calling themselves black. Wake up.
Turn around and say I'm a Jew. Nationality is a Jew from the Southern Kingdom. It was no confusion back then. Okay? Now, I also saw a picture of Noble Drew Ali and his crew. I believe it had to be during the same period for the simple fact I identify some of the same people that was in the Moorish Jewish picture that was in Noble Drew Ali picture. Some of the same people was in the same picture. So obviously it was a split from the Moorish Jewish temple.
How is it that there's the same people in the Moorish Zionist Temple of the Moorish Jews picture and the Moorish Science Temple of America picture, but there's a split? That means that there's unity. Why? What is the unifying force? Moorish. Because the Jews that were Moorish recognize the Americans that were Moorish. Because they're the same people. Again, just like the master teacher said, but once you start listening to stateless people, you are going to get incompetent lessons. And incompetent lessons have never saved a people. That's why the priesthood is dead, because all the priests are incompetent. Because they didn't even study the lessons.
And some went with Drew Ali. Okay? And obviously, the Moorish Jewish temple had to be first because you don't really hear about that in history no more. You hear about Drew Ali. They trying to sun the Moorish Jewish temple under the rug, man. No.
Now, this individual that's talking is not Moorish Jewish Zionist temple. So he's siding with them for the fact that they call themselves Jews. Okay, but they also call themselves Moorish. And how is it that the Moorish Science Temple is trying to sweep the Moorish Jews under the rug when both of them are Moorish? Not only that, Noble Drew Ali was a student of the founders of the Moorish Zionist temple, of the Moorish Jews. He was a student.
I'm going to show y'all both of the pictures and say, I don't know if y'all caught that, but I'm going to say it again that we once knew that we was Moors, but we also knew that our nationality was Jews.
Right? Their nationality is Jew. They know that they're Moors, but their nationality is Jew. All right. Let's see how real that is.
Shalom, shalom. My name is Brother Rebbe, Northern Owl Israel, also known as Noah Justice. So we are here at the Moorish Zion Temple, and this will be a little short teaching. And the name of our school is Beth Zion Talmud Torah. You can actually see it on the oldest picture of the Zion Temple. Many say it's 1924, some say it's 1929. We believe it's actually 1899. Now, the house of Israel is the original Israel. So you have the house of Israel, who is the original people, and then of course you have the children of Israel, who is our family, who descend from us. Of course, we went through a period called slavery, which is foretold in Genesis and Exodus, when Lord God, Yahuwah Elohim, who resides in you and me each and every day, because there is no mystery God, but we understand that there's an energy within us. So when the physical existence of ourselves returns to the earth, so shall our original energy within ourselves also continue to exist, called Elah, also known as, in science, as Electron. So we'll get into all of that, and again, this is part of the world's best kept secrets, and from that we have put together the world's best kept lessons. According to one of our forefathers, Elijah, he said, history is best rewarded to reward or research. Our history is written by the 25 scientists every 25,000 years. And some lessons that was given to him by his rabbi, the word rabbi translated to English means master. So we say Rabbi W. Dawood Farad. You know, he referred to meaning Elijah as Master Farad. You can see him in that same picture of the Moor Zion temple, meaning Rabbi Farad. He's at the top of the picture. You know, so this was established again in 1899, which my mother, on my mother's side, was descent. My grandmother attended as a youth, and that's how she met my father's side, the Howells or the Howellites. You know, as you see, we have from the house of Israel, we have, of course, you see the Lion of Judah, which goes back to the covenant of Noah. You know, you see the original spectrum, also known as the rainbow. You know, that's the original rainbow, red, gold, and green, as our Rasta brothers, Steel Pulse, talks about the red, gold, and green, you know. And of course, you see our Moor flag as well. So you see Moab, Kush, you know, which is Morocco, or Marrakesh, the first capital.
Didn't he just prove that we're all one people? Modern day? That there's no separation? Because what ties us together? The fact that we're Moorish. The fact that our descendancy are known in the world as Moors. We're known to the world as Moors. Ashkenazi, he won't say who's the fake Jew. He'll probably say it's strangers or point at you. Original Jews are not falashas, that means stranger. We work about Allah masters. Caucasoid Jew won't tell you about niggas, or where he stole the bat and bar mitzvahs. He won't say he's a Zionist. Kwame Ture says blue is the Jewish flag and he went beret. Yarmulke Jews ahead of the religious boule to legitimize their stance in the expulsion play. Expelled with Moors at the fall of Grenada, solidified their reparations and moved to Canada. Satan's synagogue smells like kosher swine. JTF propagate your mind, saying they from Israel and from Palestine. Never got charged for the slave tax collecting crime. Ask about their involvement in black plagues and the black massacres and Rheinfleisch massacres. Religious, ritualistic, fake mystics used to kidnap young boys and girl Christians for Talmud, to Tammuz as sacrifice. Ashkenazi live off others like parasites, blood sucking, taking heads off the top like muffins. Moses being a Mennonite is no assumption. Hook-nosed Jew from Ashkenaz back to the cave. Moors return, you Moriscos back to the slave. No need to worry, karmic debt been paid. When rise upset, sunblock won't get you saved. Hook-nosed Ashkenaz back to the cave. Moors return, you Christians back to the slaves. No need to worry, the karmic debt been paid. When rise upset with sunblock, you won't be saved. Ask a pilgrim Christian who ran the crusade mission. Most hear the pastor, but to God they won't listen. The holy book is poison to the hearts of men and minds. Christ we can't find because they martyr them, stone them, take their DNA and clone them to do their will, like boys of Brazil. Quoting men thoughts from their head in red ink, making feasts from 2 fish and 5 bread with no drink. Bible says burnt brass pictures so off pink, which show you just follow and don't read or think. Parables deciphered, Nicaean writers control the world now with ones and ciphers. The age of info can make your daughter an info. Following the role models to remove pimples. Mind control the puppets with Christmas jingles. Moors want cheese and cream like craft singles. sellouts see inside chambers where gas mingles. I sense Celeste is not God, the rash tremble, watching me funny. In 2 minutes he's watching me bummy. Got vexed and took his split from me. Hook-nosed Jew from Ashkenaz back to the cave. Moor's return, Morisco's back to the slave. No need to worry, karmic debt been paid. When Ra's upset with sunblock, you won't be saved. Canaanland's been reclaimed by the Moors. We got our own flag back, so we giving back yours. Give back your rituals and your Babylon ways. Take your ark and leave the rainbow flag to the gaze. Indigenous, foreigners devious. Know it's the consolation when I say it's serious. How serious you ask? Come out the water like normal. Of my mom's womb, gave the doctor my promo. George drop when I enter the world placenta knapsack. On a quest with no tri-fight for abstract. Shoot with stars, no black gats, screw the bars. Whether it's jail or a chocolate penis called Mars. Penis eaters, how's the nuts and caramel? I'm not amused without the park and the spinning carousel. Give back your rituals and your Babylon ways. Give me back my ankh, leave the flag to the gaze. Hook-nosed Jew from Ashkenaz back to the cave. Moors return, you Morisco's back to the slave. No need to worry, karmic debt been paid. When Ra's upset, sunblock won't get you saved. Hook-nosed Ashkenaz back to the cave. Moors return, you Christians back to the slave. No need to worry, the karmic debt been paid. When Ra's upset with sunblock, you won't be saved. Rainbow flag to the gaze. Give back your ritual and your Babylon ways. Get back to the cave. Moors return, back to the slave. The karmic debt been paid. No matter how much sunblock, no matter how much sunblock, you won't be saved.